guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing more of a personal video for you guys, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to be talking about how I became a makeup artist, and I'm going to be giving you guys a bunch of tips and tricks if you are interested in getting into the field. And I also have a ton of questions that you guys send me on Instagram and on Twitter that I will be answering at the end of the video as well. Also, please, let's just ignore this ratchet nail over here. I broke it off this morning. Wasn't fun. So I have been a certified makeup artist for the past year and a half, and I've been working freelance since getting my certification. I'm not doing freelance as much as I used to just because YouTube is taking up most of my time. So I sort of have slowed down a little bit as far as the freelancing goes. However, I do have a ton of freelancing experience, and I have a lot of tips and tricks that I've learned throughout my experiences, so I'm really excited to share those with you guys today. Okay, so the first question that I get a ton is schooling. Now, in order to be professionally certified, yes, you do need to go to some sort of school, or you do need to do some sort of course. Now, I personally didn't go to a school, but I did take a course that lasted probably about 6 months, and by the end of the 6 months I was presented a certificate that said that I was a certified makeup artist. Now, I do not want to sort of discredit the experience that I got when I was at a makeup school, because it definitely was a valuable experience, but I don't think it's completely necessary to go to a makeup school to get the education that you need. Now, we live in a very interesting time where you could learn basically anything on the internet. You guys know, you're watching this video right now, you guys know that there are a ton of makeup videos and makeup tutorials out there and makeup artists that are teaching you tips and tricks on YouTube for free. Now, before taking my courses, I was self-taught. I watched YouTube videos and I sort of got my base knowledge from YouTube videos, and that's what really sort of got me into makeup in the first place. So I find that the makeup course sort of just refined my skills because I learned all the basics all again, and I really just perfected my knowledge. Now, applying makeup on yourself is very different than applying it on somebody else. You could be absolutely incredible at applying makeup on yourself, but when it comes to doing it on somebody else that you don't know their face like you know your own, it becomes a little bit more difficult, and that's where I find the courses sort of came in handy. I learned a ton about how to work on different skin tones, how to work with different problems, how to work with different eye shapes, and how to work with different ages. That was definitely very valuable, and I definitely really appreciate that experience that I had. And that's something that you could only really learn if you practice, and that course sort of gave me the practice that I needed. So overall, I do think that schooling is helpful. However, it is not necessary. It just basically gives you a piece of paper that says that you are certified, which could be important to you or it could not be important to you. It's really a personal decision, and it's really what you think your needs are. If you feel like you really want that extra training, then definitely try and find a makeup course or a makeup school that will give you that extra training. But if you feel like you really just want to practice on different people and learn for yourself, do it. There's no rules in makeup artistry, there really isn't, and you could really go about it however you feel most comfortable. So this sort of leads me to my next point. A lot of people always ask me, even when I'm doing their makeup, how do you know how to work with different eye shapes? How do you know how to work with different face shapes or problem skin or stuff like that? So my number one tip for that is practice. Like I just said, you need to practice on every single person you can get your hands on. Family, friends, anybody. You do not want to just practice on yourself because, of course, you're going to know your face really well, but when you're working as a freelance makeup artist or you're working at a counter, you're going to be encountering a ton of different people, and to be prepared, you're going to have to practice and learn for yourself. And again, look up tutorials on YouTube if you're not in a course. Like when I first started, even after I completed my course, I would still go on YouTube and search up how to work on hooded eyes or how to work on monolids, because it just sort of reinforces the learning experience. Even if you're certified, you can still learn a lot. So the next question that I get a lot is, how do you start getting clients if you're working freelance? This is a really great question, and this is what I personally did to get clients, and I found that it worked beautifully. So as soon as I got out of makeup school, I basically told all my friends and family to bring it on, and I'm ready to take makeup clients. So slowly but surely, my friends and my family started to ask me to do their makeup for them. So I would do their makeup, they would like it, and then they would recommend me to another one of their friends. Word of mouth is an amazing, amazing thing. That's the best way to do it. You want to start with the people who are close to you, and then those people are going to recommend you to more people, and it's almost going to be like a chain effect. That's what happened to me. I started doing makeup on my aunt. My aunt told her friend about me, her friend told another friend about me, and it sort of went on like that. As long as you do a good job and the client likes what you did, you're going to get recommended. Another tip that I have for you guys is to make business cards. Business cards are super, super important because as soon as you're done doing somebody's makeup, you give them your business card and hopefully they will keep that business card in their wallet, and when they have to recommend a makeup artist to somebody else, your business card will be with them and hopefully you'll get your name out there to the next person. Another great way to get your name out there is to go to the salons that are around in your neighborhood and give them a bunch of your business cards, because a lot of salons will keep makeup artists business cards like right on like their reception area, so when people are going to the hair salon, they'll see your business card right over there, and if your business card is attractive enough and it catches somebody's attention, they will probably pick it up. That's another tip. It's very important to create a business card that is attractive, that is easy to read, and that catches somebody's eye. So this is what my business card looks like. I'm just basically covering up all my information that is on the top, but it just has like a bunch of cute little lipsticks on the bottom, and on the back I have like a kiss mark, and I've had so many people compliment my business card and say how cute it is, and I did not design this myself. I did make this on a website called Zazzle.com, an amazing website to make business cards. I've made all of my business cards on Zazzle and I love it, so I will definitely put a link to that in the description box down below. I believe that design is still up there, so if you really like it, go ahead and make it. Alright, so the next question that I get a lot, which is a little bit of a touchy subject, is figuring out how much you're going to charge. Now this was a big problem for me when I first started. I had no idea how much to charge, especially when I just started. I really wanted to build a clientele. That was my #1 priority, because if you don't have the clientele, you're not going to have the money in the first place. So my tip for you is to make your prices a little bit lower than the competition. Because you are new in the field and you don't have as much experience as, let's say, somebody who's been in it for 5 years and already has a concrete clientele, you basically need to attract people to you. Now you want to make your prices just a little bit lower than the competition, like maybe like $10, not more than that, because if you make your prices too low, that also does not send a great message. They may think that you're just not professional enough, that's why you're not charging so much. So you just want to make your prices not more than $10 lower than the competition. By doing that, you're sort of going to give people incentive to see you because you are going to be less expensive. Let's say Lizzie down the street charges $70, you will charge $60. When I first started out, my prices were a lot lower than the competition, and people really, really liked that. I booked like, I would say 5 people in a day, like in a party, because my prices were a lot lower. So in their mind, they're saving money, but I'm also building a clientele at the same time, which is really great because those same people, if they like what I do, they're gonna call me back over and over and over again. Once you feel like you have a concrete clientele, you wanna raise your prices because you also do not wanna undervalue yourself. This is your job and this is your career, and you do not wanna undervalue your services, because that is like probably the #1 thing that people do. They think that this person will not pay that much to have me work on them, but they will, because if you are good at what you do and you make people feel good, they will pay you however much you charge to have you work on them. Again, you really want to scope out the prices that other makeup artists are charging you in your area just to get an idea of what you should be charging. Basically, that's my best tip for that. Okay, another tip that I have for you guys is building a portfolio. Now, I would say probably 5 years ago, you would need like a concrete portfolio in your hand, like a book with pictures of makeup that you've done. But nowadays, social media is all the rage, so I would suggest creating an Instagram page specifically for your makeup, not for your personal pictures, not for pictures of your dog, just your makeup. You will be surprised how many people have looked at my Instagram page and then have asked me to do their makeup. Social media is very important, and that is the first place most people look to for their services. But definitely start taking pictures of before and afters, like before their makeup is done and then after, and post it on an Instagram page that you've created, and then start advertising that as well. You can put your social media links on your business cards, and that will also help gain you a clientele. So definitely start showcasing your work as much as possible, because people love to see what they're getting into, basically. So now I'm going to go into the questions that you guys asked me on Instagram and Twitter. Your questions were really, really great questions, and they really tied into what I want to talk about anyways, so let's go right into them. Hannah C96 asks, which are your top 5 can't live without products and the ones you use the most on clients? So this sort of brings me into my kit. Now, your kit is obviously very important. I'm not going to go through every single thing that I have in my kit because that could be a whole different video in and of itself. I do have a video up that I did sort of do a tour of my kit when I first started doing makeup, but it has changed a lot, so I may do an updated one if you guys do want to see it. So the first product that I cannot live without is my Graftobian foundation palette. I love this thing so much. So when I first started doing makeup, I had two different types of foundations in my kit. I had the Makeup Forever HD and then the Makeup Forever Face and Body. Those two are really wonderful foundations, but I didn't have a full shade range because obviously that would get really expensive. I had about 3 shades. I had a light, a medium, and a dark shade, and then I would mix if I needed to, and it always seemed to work out. But I really wanted a palette because those foundations took up so much room in my kit. So I got this Graftobian palette after doing a ton of research, and this is what it looks like. I have mentioned this on my channel. Previously, I've done tutorials using this kit, I believe. If you have this palette, you will never not have a foundation color. So you could always feel really nice and secure when you have this thing in your kit. It is good for dry as well as for oily skin, but if you do use this on oily skin, you do have to set it with a powder. I also love how you go from a light to a medium to a full coverage super easily. You just need to mix a little bit of this foundation with some moisturizer to get a very light coverage, and if you want a full coverage, you literally just need a pea-sized amount and that will cover the whole entire face. So this is definitely a must-have, but I also have the Makeup Forever Face and Body in my kit as well because that is an amazing lightweight foundation for mature skin as well as for very young skin. Like if I'm working on somebody who's like 13 and they don't need something like this, I'll use something like the Face and Body because it's super, super, super lightweight. And if you do need something that is waterproof, the Makeup Forever Face and Body is an amazing option as well. So these two foundations I am covered with pretty much any type of skin, and it's so good. I couldn't recommend these two products enough. Another product that I could not live without in my kit is my Embryolisse Milk Cream Concentrate Moisturizer. This is my favorite moisturizer to use underneath makeup. It works with dry and also works with oily skin, and it's also very lightweight. I just love this moisturizer and I use it on every single person. Another product that I have to have in my kit is my Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream. This is fragrance free. This is basically, it's almost like Vaseline, but it's not. It's a little bit more higher end, but this is such an amazing product to have in your kit because you're able to use it in so many different ways. It's super hydrating to put on the lips as a lip balm. You could also use this to sort of gloss up any look. If you're doing work for like a photo shoot, you could put this on the lid to get something really glossy, or on the tops of the cheekbones to get it really glossy. You could also use it on cuticles or on hands, any sort of like dry patches. It's just a really great product to have. Okay, this looks absolutely vile, but this is my House of Lashes lash glue. This is so important for me to have this in my kit. I used to use Duo lash glue, which is good, but House of Lash glue is worlds better. This is something that I have to have in my kit because it just makes applying lashes so much easier. It is basically like super glue for your lashes. So if you have a bride who may be crying and you put lashes on them, you need to have a glue like this that will really just keep them nice and on there so that they're not falling off with their tears, because that wouldn't be pretty and she would not be happy about that. It also cuts the time of putting lashes on in half because you have to wait like barely any time for this to get tacky. It gets tacky basically as soon as you apply it. It's amazing. Another must-have for me is the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. I think I go through about like 15 of these in a year. It's like ridiculous. I just like drench my clients in this at the end of the makeup application because it just locks everything in, and I just think that this is a must-have even in your own personal collection. I love this setting spray. It's really, really great. I love it. Love it so much. Now while I'm on the subject of my kit, I just want to talk about that really, really quickly. Now when I first started doing makeup, I had, I would say, 7 of these full of makeup that I would bring to every single job. I actually had a client yesterday, so this is the real deal. This is what I brought just to see her, and I'd never seen her before, and she wasn't like a recurring client, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I still only brought 2 of these instead of 7. There's nothing wrong with bringing a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, because I definitely did, but once you start sort of learning what you use the most and what just works, you will really narrow down your kit a lot. Another tip that I could give you guys for your kit is to use palettes and use lots of them because it will save you space and it'll just make things a lot easier so you're not rummaging around looking for like single eyeshadows, for example. You really want things to be really nice and contained, so I always bring a ton of different palettes with me. For example, I put all of my Anastasia shadows that I use the most in one palette, and I even have a blush palette from Morphe that is amazing. This is the 9B palette, and I highly recommend this if you are starting your kit and you want some blushes. They are amazing, high quality blushes, and you have an amazing variety in here like you wouldn't need anything else. Morphe has really great affordable palettes also. I definitely would recommend them. Same with brushes. About a year ago, I would have 2 of these filled with brushes, but now I just bring this. This may be a lot for some of you, but for me, this is like cutting it down like you have no idea. I just bring the essentials that I know I will need, and less is sometimes more. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you build up a kit? Now, it's very important that when you start to build your kit that you get your makeup artist discounts. A lot of companies do offer discounts for makeup artists, and the discounts are very, very good. Like, for example, MAC is 40%, Makeup Forever, I believe, is also 40%. There is a process to get accepted. You do have to like fill out an application and send in proof that you're a certified makeup artist and all that stuff, but it is an amazing thing to have those discounts, and that is how I built my kit. Building your kit is definitely inexpensive. You gotta think of it as an investment. You are going to make that money back eventually once you start building your clientele, but you definitely need to build your kit using products that are good and high quality. But you do not have to build up your kit all at once, and you do not have to build up your kit using very expensive products. For example, this Morphe palette with 9 blushes is extremely affordable, and you have 9 blushes in here, which is amazing. You don't have to build up your kit all at once. It will build over time, but just get the essentials of the stuff that you really, really need at the beginning, and then after that you could always build on top of it. But don't feel pressured to have like 20 makeup palettes. You could even get Morphe palettes, which, like I said, are so affordable. I used this Morphe palette on a bride yesterday. This is the 35T. This is my current favorite like warm palette. Like, how gorgeous is that? The pigmentation on this thing is incredible. I just want to give you guys a quick example. Like, look at that. It's wonderful. Now, I have a few people ask me, but this is from Bryn Cozens, I think, probably butchering your name. She says, have you ever done makeup on a client that didn't like it? That was honestly my worst fear. I was so scared that I would do makeup on a client and they would absolutely hate it and yell at me, and that it would ruin their day. You gotta think of it this way. Makeup is not permanent, and if you do something that somebody doesn't like, you could always fix it. I've never had a client though be like, oh my god, I absolutely hate this. Thank goodness, because I don't know how I'd be able to handle that. I would like freak out and probably start crying. But I've had clients say, you know, I'd rather do a different lip, or do you think we could thicken up the eyeliner, or do you think we can darken this, or do this, or do that? And then you do it, and then they like it. It really just comes with the job, and you just gotta learn to sort of like adapt. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Tiff826 asked, what age did you start liking / playing with makeup and decided to be a makeup artist? I started playing with makeup probably when I was 13. I would wear blue eyeliner in my waterline every single day, and it would be down to here by the end of the day. That was the extent of it. I only really started getting into makeup probably when I was 15. I'm 21 right now, by the way, for reference. YouTube is really what introduced me to the world of makeup. This is actually an interesting story, getting a little personal with you guys. Now, when I applied to university, I really wanted to get into photography because I thought that I wanted to be a photographer. And I didn't end up getting to the program, and I was devastated. So I decided to go into this course that taught graphic design, because then I thought I wanted to be a graphic designer. I started to absolutely despise it, so I took the semester off. And during that semester off, that's when my love for YouTube and for makeup really, really grew. And I believe I just started my YouTube channel right around that time. Because I did take a year off school, I really needed to do something with myself. So I decided to take a makeup course because I loved makeup so much, and that sort of just grew my love for it even more. So I took the course, and then I was working as a freelance makeup artist for the rest of the year. And I know a lot of you are gonna ask, and I've had a lot of questions about this before, I am in university currently. I'm studying communications. And do I like school? Not really. Bryn also asked, most intimidating job. Good question. I was always super intimidated to do brides. Brides just scare the shit out of me, because if you don't do their makeup the way they like it, it's their freaking wedding day, and that is like all on you. So that like scared the shit out of me, and I was really like scared of taking brides on as clients. But I've had a really great experience doing bridal makeup. All of my weird thoughts were all like unnecessary, basically. It is a little bit more pressure, and it's a little bit more intimidating to do a bride's makeup, but it all turns out okay at the end, because it's like doing anybody else's makeup. It's just for a very special day. It's just intimidating because you just keep thinking in your head like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up, but it usually turns out okay. So it's all good. Attitude asks, what's been the most rewarding part of your journey as a makeup artist? Honestly, every single time I do somebody's makeup and they look in the mirror and they say, oh my god, I look so good, and they just feel amazing about themselves, and you see it almost radiating from them. There's no other feeling like that. It is the most amazing thing to make somebody else feel amazing about themselves. And I will never ever get sick of that, and I definitely think that is the most rewarding part of being a makeup artist, is just making somebody else feel beautiful. I think is an incredible gift. Okay guys, I literally feel like my voice is almost gone. I don't know if you can hear, but it's like literally raspy right now. I don't think I've ever spoken for so long. I literally have 2 hours of footage right now. It's insane. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope you found it helpful. I wish any of you who are like trying to get into the makeup artist field tons of luck, and just remember that if you put your mind to it, you could definitely do it, and just work your ass off. I really hope I didn't miss any points, and if I did, I could always answer it in like a future Q&A. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what you thought of this video, and also let me know if you guys would like to see a kit tour. As always, do not forget to give this video a big thumbs up and click that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already and like to see more videos like this. I post new videos every Monday and every Thursday, and that's pretty much it, and I will see you guys next time. I love you. Mwah.